We often get calls from highly successful, financially conservative buyers from out of state, and they say the exact same thing. We want to move to Charleston, but we want to be smart about this. We're going to rent for 6 months to figure out which neighborhood we like, and then we'll buy a house. It sounds incredibly responsible. It feels like the safest psychological play. It's exactly what a financial advisor sitting in an office in Chicago would tell you to do. But here in the Lowcountry, applying that logic is a logistical and financial challenge. You're trying to play a real estate game using rules that simply don't exist in this city. I'm Derek, and with my wife Sarah, we're Team Wacaster, Charleston Realtors with Keller Williams. Today, we're killing the rent-first myth. I'm going to break down the harsh reality of our rental market, the hidden costs of storage unit limbo, the absolute misery of the school zone shuffle, and why waiting 12 months to buy a house in Charleston will cost you tens of thousands of dollars. Let's get into it. The entire rent-first plan hinges on your ability to find a nice furnished house in a good neighborhood for 6 months. In 2026, that inventory is extremely scarce. Charleston is a highly desirable relocation market. Landlords hold all the cards. They don't want to deal with the turnover of a 6-month lease, and with the demand here, they don't have to. If you find a landlord willing to do 6 months, you're going to pay a massive premium for the privilege, often 20 to 30% above the normal monthly rate. A few years ago, you could just rent a nice Airbnb in Mount Pleasant for 90 days while you house hunted. That was before local municipalities started aggressively cracking down on short-term rentals to protect residential neighborhoods. With the current strict regulations and the hoops the owners have to jump through to stay legal, your choices are going to be limited at best. Let's say you actually find a unicorn 6-month rental. Do you have a pet? If you're moving down here with a 70-pound golden retriever or 2 cats, your rental options immediately drop by a large percentage. And you'll have to pay a hefty pet deposit if a place allows them. So let's say you compromise. You sign a 12-month lease on an apartment just to get down here. Now we have to deal with your stuff, and more importantly, your family. You're moving out of a 4,000 square foot house in the Midwest with a basement and a 2-car garage. You're moving into a 1,200 square foot apartment in West Ashley. Where does your sectional sofa go? You have to put it in a storage unit, but because of Charleston's punishing humidity, you can't put antique furniture, family photos, or electronics in a standard metal roll-up unit. The humidity will destroy it by August. You must rent a climate-controlled unit. Factor that $300 to $400 a month into your smart rental plan. Don't underestimate the absolute misery of moving your entire life twice in 12 months. Unpacking the truck into a storage unit, living out of boxes in an apartment, and then packing it all back up to move into the house you finally buy. It strains marriages and it drains your energy. If you have kids, renting first is a whole other ballgame. You might rent in an apartment in a great school zone in Mount Pleasant. Your kids spend 6 months making friends and joining sports teams. Then when it's time to buy, you realize you actually want to buy a house in Somerville. You just forced your kids to change schools twice in 1 academic year. Moving a teenager across the country is hard enough. Moving them across the country, letting them get settled for 6 months, and then yanking them out of that high school because you finally bought a house in a different zip code, that's how you end up paying for therapy down the road. This is the most critical part of this video. The rent-first plan is designed to make sure you don't make a financial mistake by buying in the wrong neighborhood, but waiting has a massive guaranteed financial penalty. If you rent an average family home or a nice apartment in Charleston for a year, you're going to spend roughly $30,000 to $40,000 in rent. That's cash you are lighting on fire. You are building exactly zero equity. While you're spending 12 months trying to decide if you like the vibe of John's Island better than James Island, the real estate market is moving. Historically, Charleston has experienced solid home appreciation in the 2 to 4% range per year. Let's say the $700,000 house you want to buy today appreciates at 4% this year. If you wait 12 months to buy that same house, it now costs $728,000. When you add up the $35,000 in rent, the $4,000 in storage unit fees, the cost of moving twice, and the $28,000 in lost buying power, you just paid almost $70,000 for the privilege of testing out the city. You're paying a massive premium for hesitation. There's a better way to do this. Don't move blindly and don't sign a lease. Come down for a highly structured 3-day scouting trip. Don't treat this like a vacation. You're not here to take carriage rides, go on shopping excursions, or spend a day at one of many festivals. This is a business trip. If you think you want to live in Somerville but work in North Charleston, wake up at 7 a.m. on a weekday and drive I-26. See what the traffic actually feels like. Then go to the local grocery store in that neighborhood at 5 p.m. See who your neighbors are. Drive the neighborhoods. Are you okay with the strict HOA rules of a master plan community? Or do you want the older moss-draped freedom of James Island? Drive past the schools when they're letting out. Check the boat ramps on a Saturday morning. Then take a reality tour with us. You give us your final 2 neighborhood choices. We drive you through them and show you exactly what your budget buys in each zip code. By the time you fly back home, you'll know exactly where you want to buy, and we can start hunting for the actual house remotely. Check out one of our other videos that covers how we handle that process with absolute ease. Relocating can be stressful, but dragging that stress out over a 12-month rental lease is entirely avoidable. Stop burning your equity on rent and storage units. If you're planning a move to Charleston, reach out to us. Let's schedule that strategic scouting trip. Team Wacaster can help you not just move to Charleston, but the right part of Charleston for you. In the meantime, we'll send you our updated 2026 Charleston City Guide that highlights a few of our favorite things in the Holy City. Take care, and I'll see you soon.